Hi, hope you are well. In this video, I want to talk about the practical histology of the heart and vessels. In practical histology for the heart and vessels, we usually study three histological slides. One for the heart, one for the aorta, and one slide for other types of the vessels. In the heart tissue, you should identify these items: the endocardial layer, epithelium in the endocardial, subendocardial layer, Purkinje fibers, myocardium, cardiac cells in the myocardium, epicardium, and epithelium in the epicardial layer. Let's see them one by one. Here's a section from the heart, and here we've got the endocardium and a part of the myocardium. In the endocardium, we've got the epithelium. Here's the epithelium of the endocardium, simple squamous. And here is the connective tissue under the epithelium, which is called subendocardial layer. The connective tissue under the epithelium of the endocardium is called subendocardial layer. Here is the subendocardial, here is the epithelium of the endocardium, and here is the part of the myocardium. As you know, the myocardium is formed by the cardiac muscular cells, and here are the cardiac cells. Here's a cardiac cell, and you can see its nucleus. Here is another cardiac cell. Here is another cardiac cell. And as I said in the previous video related to the histology of the heart, the cardiac cells are separated by the intercalated discs. Here's an intercalated disc between two cardiac muscles. Here we've got the epicardium. The epicardium is formed by epithelium and connective tissue. Remember that the epithelium of the epicardium is also called mesothelium. The mesothelium is another name for the epithelium of the epicardium. And like the epithelium of endocardium, here we've got the simple squamous epithelium. And it's important to remember that the connective tissue under the mesothelium in the epicardium contains adipose tissue. Here is the adipose tissue or fatty tissue. Okay. Here is the Purkinje fibers. Here are the cardiac cells in the myocardium, and as you see, the Purkinje fibers are seen different from the cardiac cells. In the aorta, you should identify these items: tunica intima, tunica media, elastic lamella, smooth muscle, tunica adventitia, neuroviscerum, and vasa vasorum. Here is a section from the aorta. Here is the lumen of the aorta. So here is the tunica intima or inner layer. Here is the tunica media, the middle layer, and here is the outer layer or tunica adventitia. In the tunica media, we've got several elastic lamella. Here are the elastic lamella, and between them we've got the smooth muscle. Here is elastic lamella, here is elastic lamella, and here between them we've got the isthmus muscle. Here is isthmus muscle, here is isthmus muscle, here is isthmus muscle. Okay, here is isthmus muscle between the elastic lamella. And in the tunica adventitia we've got small vessels, blood vessels or lymphatic vessels, and they're called vasa vasorum. Here are vasa vasorum or vessels in the tunica adventitia of the vessel. Okay, the nerve fibers in the tunica adventitia are called neurovasorum or nerves in the vessels, neurovasorum. Okay, here is a nerve fiber, here is a nerve fiber. And in the slide about and the slide related to the other types of the vessels, you should be able to identify these items: tunica intima, tunica media, internal elastic lamina, isthmus muscle, tunica adventitia, neurovasorum, vasovasorum, arterial and venial. Here is the tunica intima, yeah. Here is the tunica media, the middle layer, and here is the tunica adventitia. Here you can see internal elastic lamina. Here is the internal elastic lamina. So remember that we've got the elastic lamella in the aorta, while we've got the internal elastic lamina in the muscular arteries. Okay, not in the aorta. Here is a part of the tunica media. Here is the internal elastic lamina, and here we've got the epithelium of the tunica intima. Here is the outer part of the tunica media, this part, and here we've got the tunica adventitia containing several neurovasorum. Here are the nerve fibers. They are called neurovasorum. Okay, here are the neurovasorum in the tunica adventitia, and here are the vasa vasorum or vessels in the tunica adventitia. Vasa vasorum, neurovasorum. And here we've got the arterial and venial. Here is an arterial, here is an arterial, here is a venial. As I said previously, the arterial has a thick layer, yeah, whereas the venial has a thin layer. Here is a venial, and here is an arterial. Here is an arterial.